Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shah, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shah, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shah, Call Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Raha Hadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles, the great millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered across the four winds. This is your brother Yakar Abin from Great Millstone, Houston, back with another lesson. And double honors to the men that taught our elders and apostles. But I was looking online and I came across this post, and you know, I'm gonna go ahead and break this down. It says Deuteronomy chapter 24 and verse 16 and Exodus chapter 34 and verse 7. They are beating my brain. MOG, please help me, anyone. So we're gonna go ahead and read these two verses and explain what's being said. I don't even know what that is, but this is Deuteronomy chapter 24 and verse 16. It says, "The fathers shall not be put to death for the children, neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin." So I mean that's pretty straightforward, but I guess where the confusion comes in is when in Exodus chapter 34 it says, Exodus chapter 34 and verse 7, it says, "Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and upon the children's children unto the third and to the fourth generation." So these they don't have anything to do with each other, really. I mean, uh, uh, Deuteronomy chapter 24 and 16 is speaking about, you know, fathers committing sin, and well, we'll get it. We'll get the understanding in Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel chapter 18, and we're just going to read through it. It says, "The word of Yahweh came unto me again, saying, What mean ye that ye use this proverb concerning the land of Israel, saying, The fathers have eaten sour grapes, and the children's teeth are set on edge?" It says, "As I live, saith Yahweh power, ye shall not have occasion any more to use this proverb in Israel. Behold, all souls are mine. As the soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son is mine. The soul that sinneth, it shall die." So, you know, if the soul that sinneth, it shall die. You know, it's not something that uh, you can do something, you know, you can disobey the law and then your son be put to death for the sin that you have done. No, I mean, it doesn't work like that. The soul that sinneth, that's the one that has to suffer the consequences of the sin in which it that soul has performed. It says, "For if a man be just and do that which is lawful and right, and have not eaten upon the mountains," not taking on these other nations' philosophies, "neither have lifted up his eyes to the idols of the house of Israel, neither have defiled his neighbor's wife, neither have come near to a menstruous woman." You know, it's just other different laws going into that are punishable by death. Well, not the menstruous woman, but you know, I think that's I had to go back and look at it, but I think it would be unclean for 7 days, I believe. But it says, "And have not oppressed any, but have restored to the debtor his pledge, have spoiled none by violence, have given his bread to the hungry, have covered the naked with a garment. He have not given forth upon usury, neither have taken any increase, that hath withdrawn his hand from iniquity, have executed true judgment between man and man. It says, have walked in my statutes and have kept my judgments to deal truly. He is just. He shall surely live, saith Yahweh power. It says, if he beget a son that is a robber, a shedder of blood, and that doeth the like to any one of these things, and that doeth not any of those duties, and that doth not any of those duties, but even hath eaten upon the mountains, and defiled his neighbor's wife, have oppressed the poor and needy, have spoiled by violence, have not restored the pledge, and have lifted up his eyes to the idols, hath committed abomination, have given forth upon usury, and have taken increase, shall he then live? He shall not live. He hath done all these abominations, he shall surely die, his blood shall be upon him. Now lo, if he beget a son that seeth all his father's sins which he have done, and consider, and doeth not such like, that have not eaten upon the mountains, neither have he lifted up his eyes to the idols of the house of Israel, have not defiled his neighbor's wife, neither have oppressed any, have not withheld the pledge, neither have spoiled by violence, but have given bread to the hungry, and have covered the naked with a garment, that have taken of his hand from the poor, that have not received usury nor increase, have executed my judgments, have walked in my statutes, he shall not die, for the iniquity of his fathers he shall surely live. So it's going into, each individual has to pay for their own sins. But what Exodus 34:7 is saying the exact same thing. Each individual has to pay for their own sins. It says, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and upon the children's children unto the third and the fourth generation. So this means that, you receive the punishment for the sins that you have committed, meaning that you are born again in the third and fourth generation. Let's get that. Ecclesiastes 3. Ecclesiastes 3. It says, this is Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 15. It says, that which hath been is now, and that which is to be have already been, and the Most High require that which is past. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. So the father pays for his own sins in the third and fourth generation. I mean, we are reborn. We are reincarnated. That same soul comes back in the third and fourth generation. And the Lord requires that which is past. He requires, so people don't get away with the sins that they do. The Lord, he's going to require payment for that. He's going to require payment for those sins. And, let's get it. Hold on. Let's get it. The book of Sirach. Let's get it. Ecclesiasticus 5 and 4. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 and verse 4. It says, "Say not, I have sinned, and what harm hath happened unto me? For the Lord is long suffering, he will in no wise let thee go." Let me get that in the GNT. Sirach 5 and 4 GNT. This is Sirach chapter 5 and verse 4 in the GNT. It says, "Don't think that you can sin and get away with it. The Lord does not whine." Salakia. It says, don't think that you can sin and get away with it. The Lord does not mind waiting to punish you. So the Lord doesn't, he can wait a lifetime or a couple of lifetimes. It doesn't matter. The Lord he's not going to acquit those that are guilty of sin. It's all throughout the Bible. Let's get 2nd Ezra 14. Second Ezra 14 and what is it? 15. No. It's Salakia 34. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 14 and verse 34. It says, "Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understandings and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared." So, the names of the righteous will be manifest, and the works of the ungodly declared. Let's get it again. And Wisdom of Solomon 8. And we'll get it in Wisdom 2 and we'll close out. Wisdom 8. It says, this is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 8 and verse 19. It says, "For I was a witty child and had a good spirit. Yea, rather, being good, I came into a body undefiled." So the Lord saying he came into a body undefiled because his spirit, because of what he has done in other carnations, So, these are just little subtleties in the scriptures explaining you that, we are reincarnated. We're reincarnated to the third and fourth generation. So yes, the son does not pay for the sins of the father, but yet the great grandson pays for his own sins, because he is the father, if that makes sense. It's really simple. We're reincarnated to the third and fourth generation. And I know, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, I know you've witnessed where you see a child say, "Oh, well," somebody else say, "Oh, well, he has an old soul," or a lot in our community, we don't know our fathers and our grandfathers and our great grandfathers, but people that do, they'll be like, I remember, it'll be like, when you have a great grandson, if you live to see it, then he'll remind you of your father, because he is your father. This is how the Lord has set things up on the earth. And people get it, but they just don't get it. They just don't understand, because Christianity has put in strongholds on people that they don't even believe. The strongholds that Christianity has put on people they don't even believe. Because if you were to, if you had to go to hell a place where you burn for all eternity, you know, wouldn't you uh, uh, not do the things that would send you to that place? But you know, people don't believe it. They don't believe that. They really don't believe it. It's some made up stuff. But let's get Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, and ooh, well, let me before I get that, let me grab another one. Let me get Colossians. This is Colossians chapter 3 and verse 25. This is Colossians chapter 3 and verse 25. It says, "But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done, and there is no respect of persons." So, I mean, you know, the person that does the wrong, he's going to receive the punishment for the wrong, and not his son. But, you know, when he comes back, the Lord may wait. The Lord may wait. The Lord may make him wait until, you know, he comes back again, or he may acquit him for another. He may wait till he comes back in the third, you know, 2 or 3 times. You know, that's the Lord can do whatever he wants. But let's get that Wisdom of Solomon 2 and close it out. This is Wisdom 2. It says, "For the ungodly saith, reasoning with themselves, but not aright." So everything that is said after this is not aright, or is wrong, or wrong understanding. "For the ungodly saith, reasoning with themselves, but not aright, our life is short and tedious, and in death of a man there is no remedy, neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave." So the ungodly say this, and it's not right. It's not right, because we are reincarnated to the 3rd and 4th generation. And, you know, the ungodly believe that the things that they do, they get away with. And a lot of the things that are going on in the earth now, you know, they don't want to bring up history, because, you know, the things that their forefathers have done were abominable, not realizing that they're going to have to pay for that because they are their forefathers. They don't understand. They said, well, you know, that happened back then. I don't have nothing to do with that. Guess what? That was you in the 3rd and 4th generation. So yes, you're going to have to pay for those things. You know, it is what it is. But I'll get yeah, we'll get one more. We'll get one more explaining that. Job 21. This is Job chapter 21, and it says, let's get it. It said, this is Job chapter 21 and verse 30. It says, wait a minute, let's that the wicked, this is Job chapter 21 and verse 30. It says that the wicked is reserved for the day of destruction. They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. Who shall declare this to his way? Oh, that's not it. Hold on 1 second. Oh, 17. This is Job chapter 21 and verse 17. It says, how oft is the candle of the wicked put out, and how oft cometh their destruction upon them? God, the Most High, distributeth sorrows in his anger. They are as the stubble before the wind, and as the chaff that the storm carrieth away. The Most High layeth up his iniquity for his children, he rewardeth him, and he shall know it. So the Most High, is going to let them understand who they are. The wicked, when he finally judges the wicked, he's gonna he's gonna let them know who they are and who's delving out their judgment. With that being said, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Raha Kadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Keep fighting, keep the faith. Kwam Yasha Allah. Shalom.